What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Kumite Lifestyle, where the mat meets the mic. I'm your host, Nick Arndt, and I appreciate you tapping in for another episode. Whether you're watching us on YouTube, listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or streaming the show on your favorite podcast platform, thank you for being here and supporting what we're building. Every view, every listen, every follow, every comment, every review, and every share helps this podcast continue to grow and reach more people. If you're new here, this show is all about real conversations, real stories, and real people doing meaningful things. And if you've been rocking with us already, you know what time it is. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, follow the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, leave a rating or review, and share this episode with somebody who needs to hear it. Now, let's get right into this amazing conversation. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Kumite Lifestyle podcast. And today we are joined by Emmet Cusack, all the way in Ireland, and we are super excited to have him. And before we bring him on, I want to make mention that Emmet made history for becoming the very first Kumite Lifestyle ambassador overseas, international. So sending love over there to Europe and, of course, Ireland. So welcome onto the show, Emmet. How's it going?
Hey, Nick, how are you, man? I'm great. Thanks very much for having me.
Of course. I know you're a busy man with your schedule. I know you are competing, you're training, and you're working, and you're juggling all these crazy things that we have going on in life. So I really appreciate your time hopping on. And just to give the viewers out there that might be listening that aren't watching right now, it's amazing that, we have this ability to connect. So I'm looking at you and you're wearing your WUKF Ireland shirt. So definitely all the love there. So let's start off with this. First, I want to congratulate you again for becoming an ambassador. I was super stoked when I saw your application come in. And again, for all the viewers listening and watching, we still have open availability. So right now we currently have 12 ambassadors, and I am looking to add maybe 8 more. So I'm looking for 20 ambassadors altogether. It was 15, but man, I've gotten some amazing applications just like yourself. So who knows? Maybe there might be more international folks, joining the founding class. So anyways, Emmet, congrats again. What does it mean
So
what does it mean to you to be a Kumite Lifestyle ambassador?
Well, I'm just really happy, kind of honored to get the opportunity to become an ambassador. There's some really cool people already been given the role to be part of the names. It's really good. I'm really happy to get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were excited to see your name. And what's been pretty awesome is that even though you're all the way on the other side of the pond, as they say, you do know quite a few of the athletes that are already on the ambassador team, if you will. So who do you know already that's an ambassador, or just within, the, Kumite Lifestyle circle, if you will?
I'd say the main person I know who's ambassador is Sam Stoddard. I've become close with Sam recently. I met him for the first time in April at the North American Open. We fought together with and against each other, and we've just been talking since, gotten well. I saw he was on the podcast and they became ambassador. So he's kind of the main fella I would know.
Yeah. Sam is pretty special. I had a chance to have not only him, but I had his family, and I had his brother Ben and his sensei Jimmy, who I believe is his stepfather. I don't want to. Don't quote me on that, but I know they're all close and they're all family members. But Sam is amazing. He's an amazing fighter. I will see him next month at the 2026 Ishinu Karate Hall of Fame. And speaking of seeing people, I know you have the World Championships coming up in Romania. So I would love to hear about that. But before we dive into that, let's give the audience some context of when you started training. So let's go back in time. When did you start your karate training, or when did you start martial arts training?
Okay, so basically I'd say I was about 5 years old at the time. I'm 17 now, so I'd say I'm definitely over the 10-year mark now. My older brother was training in my local club, which is Pat Rocket's Martial Art Academy. And I was watching on, and I saw they were all having a good time. They were learning. And my parents, they decided to let me have a go. And over the years, I just stuck with it, to be honest. As I got older, it was kind of the one sport that I didn't start or stop. The other sports coming in and out, but karate just stayed with me. My dad used to train back in the day with my coach, and my brother, he was there all the way up until around the COVID time. So yeah, and I was just in the same club the whole time, to be honest. Mostly the same people, they're so close to me, like. So yeah, that's it.
Very cool. Yeah. So martial arts has been something that you've been doing since age 5. And I can tell just in the passion of your voice that it's something that you really enjoy. And we spoke a little bit off air about your karate experience, your travels, and getting to compete for your country. And I believe, from what I've understood talking to other athletes and yourself, is that with karate being where it is right now in Ireland, you have an opportunity to earn scholarships through karate. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, that is true. One of my coaches, David Gunn, he was the first person to receive the full scholarship from UCD in Dublin. It'd be one of Ireland's biggest colleges, and that was a big thing. But then, even after that, and before that, sorry, my other coach, Dino Mani, he had one in South Waterford, I believe, and even my teammates now, Charlie and Caitlin, they were all able to get the scholarships. Yeah, so all these people I've been training with and fighting with, um, coaching me, they've all been able to get these. So it's just really cool to see that the opportunity is there for them.
Very cool. Yeah. That's something that, to my understanding, we don't necessarily have that over here in the US, because karate is it's definitely a sport, but it's more of a hobby, if you will, where there's not too many professional karate athletes. And I'm not saying that there's not, I mean, obviously there is, but it's not as mainstream to my understanding, meaning that most of the athletes on the AAU team, they're not getting paid. Unfortunately, they have to pay their own way. And it's unfortunate, because, we have hardworking athletes like yourself, and athletes like Sam, and, they work so hard, but, they make it onto the world team. But guess what? They still have to find a way. But, we also have apps like GoFundMe, and like
Yeah.
there's other ways the athletes can become sponsored. So I don't want to say that it's not impossible, but I think it's pretty cool that in your country, I would say karate is pretty widely accepted.
Mm. Yeah, no, over the recent few years, like especially with the colleges, it has grown. But it would be the same like in to travel, like you're paying yourself, you're trying to get the fundraising and whatnot, like
Okay.
so it's the same in that sense.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. I had this maybe assumption that everything was paid for and you guys were good.
No.
Okay. So the struggle is still real then.
Oh, definitely 100%. It's really hard. Like there's tournaments that even myself and other people were not able to go to just because it's a huge cost, like so it's
Yeah.
not as easy.
Very cool. I mean, no, it's cool that you have an opportunity to do that though, like even though it's hard work. And so what do you do to raise funds? Because I think that's I would love to kind of hear what you have to do, to get to, tournaments, especially Romania. Now, obviously, like you don't have to travel as far as we do, coming from
Yeah.
the US, but Emmett, what do you do, to help raise funds?
So basically, to be honest, the main thing would be my parents are very supportive of me, and they're the ones who get me to all the competitions. But then it's kind of like you try to pick up a few like kind of sponsors here and there. Like there was a local bar that they used to help me with my entry fees and all that. They've actually closed down now, but they were always so good to me throughout the years. And it'd just be things like that, like local stuff, to be honest. And then slowly you're getting there.
Very cool. So, yeah, what an amazing opportunity that you have to do something that you love and have the support that you have from your parents and of course locally. So, huge shout out to your parents, because I
100%.
my parents are still very, very supportive of what I do. And, I think sometimes I think we take that for granted, because I mean, how many athletes do you know that work, like really, really hard, but maybe not have the support that we have, So
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So what goes into your preparation? So now that you've talked about, when you started and you talked about your support and the colleges and the scholarships. So now that that's kind of been instilled and you kind of know what's happening, what the opportunities are for you. Let's talk about the training opportunities that you give yourself. Like, how do you prepare for a local tournament? I'm assuming you guys have a national tournament, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
Yeah, so talk about that, and then I would love to hear about your preparation, leading up to the big games in Romania.
Okay, so basically, we had the Irish Open Championships, I think, 2 weeks ago. It was actually my hometown here in Waterford. A good event, always some good fighters.
Before we jump back into this conversation, I've got to put you on. The official Kumite Lifestyle shop is open and the merch is ready. We've got shirts, hoodies, hats, accessories available now, and every purchase helps support the show, the content, the guest, and everything we're building. So if you've been enjoying the episodes, this is your chance to support the podcast and look good while doing it. Head on over to kumitelifestyle.com, click the shop, and grab your gear today. Use promo code KUMITE, Kumite, and receive a 15% discount for each purchase. Don't just watch the movement, be a part of it.
And there was, I think, 3 countries came over, Scotland and England as well. So we'd have that, and then we would also have the actual national championships as well later on in the year. So yeah, they're two big events for us. They're important.
Very cool. Yeah, and then how do athletes in your country for the karate team, what's the qualification to make it on to a national team in Ireland?
So basically, it's kind of more in your clubs. The clubs come together for the one federation, and it's just whoever kind of each club is bringing. To be honest, so it's up to your coach. If you're training hard enough, you can be there.
So it's more of an invitation, you would say?
Yeah, it wouldn't be I know in America they're getting selected by the head coaches, but it's a little bit different for us.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, it's good to know. I think it's awesome that, I've had a lot of athletes on. I've had a lot of karate athletes on, as you know, and just hearing the different processes of what it's like, even here in America, because everyone's journey to the national team is different, but there's a common denominator, meaning you have to be selected, of course, like you said, by the coach. So just hearing it, what it's like for you over in Ireland is pretty cool as well. How would you, and I want to be careful about how I ask this because I don't want to offend anyone by no means. But when you look at Ireland, the karate team, would you say that Ireland has a very strong karate team? I'm sure everyone is good. Don't get me wrong, but how would you compare that to maybe Team USA or some of these other top teams in the world that have karate? Like where would you put Ireland at?
So in WUKF for Ireland. There's a huge difference in the amount of competitors that Team USA would have compared to Team Ireland. But that is not to say our Irish fighters don't go out and we bring home those medals the same time.
Yeah.
We enter the team events, the Team Kumite, Team Rotational, and we go against these countries. There might not be many of us, but we have our squad and we go out and we always do quite well.
Sure.
It is a strong team, to be honest. I think the main thing is just the size of us is quite small.
Yeah. Do you guys have a big team that goes will you guys have a big team going to Romania?
So to be completely honest, our team from Romania, I think it is a bit smaller compared to last year in Sweden. I know from my club, it is that we actually only have 2 members from my club going. Compared to last year, I think we had, I want to say about 10 for the World Championships. Obviously, we have the other clubs as well who are still going to be bringing. So maybe this year will be a bit smaller, but definitely, normally we're not too bad, but we would have, I would say about, if I have to guess, I think about 30 competitors, maybe some more 40.
Yeah.
Going over to the tournaments, which isn't the smallest amount, of course.
Yeah.
But I'd say it's kind of in the middle, to be honest.
No, that's awesome. And are you guys pretty close as a team?
Definitely, the guys. So I'm located in the south of Ireland, and I'm always in contact. I'd be really close friends with the guys from the north. One of my teammates, his name is PJ. Yeah, we're always talking to each other, and any opportunity we're at a tournament, we're always looking to warm up and train together. And it's all of us. We're all from different parts of the country, different clubs, but we all get on really well. Whenever we see each other, we always have a good time. And then when we go away to the competitions, we're just glad to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's all about the memories. It's all about connection and friendships because it's more than just karate. It's more than just a karate tournament. it's the impact, right? It's the memories, like I said, that you're going to have forever and these connections. And I could hear it in your voice when you talk about, your connection with Sam and Sam being here in the US. That's amazing that you guys had the opportunity to connect. Um, what tournament was it that you guys met at? Because I know you mentioned that you came over to the US, but I would love to hear about that experience and just, fighting on the US soil.
Yeah, so it was April and I traveled to Las Vegas. It was the North American Open.
Yep.
I was the only Irish fighter there, and I went with my family. So I went over, and I knew some people already going over. I knew I was doing a team event with Sam and Amir Gordon and Gustavo. So when I got over there, I was just chatting to him. Some people already know. Then I met Sam for the first time. I met Jimmy, and they're just lovely guys. And to be honest, every time I go away, I'm always talking to people, I'm always meeting people. So yeah, it's always just a good experience for me. Going to America, obviously, it was a really big tournament, the North American Open. Being the only Irish person was an honour. I went out to fight. I didn't get my best results, but I was still the opportunity to go there was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And how did you do at that tournament?
So me and the boys, we won gold in team rotation. That was a good event. We had, I think, 3 rounds to get through. We won. And then I had my 2 individual events. I had Sambon where I got bronze. That's when I lost to Sam. We had an amazing fight though.
Yeah.
And then we had the Olympic style Kumite, bronze in that as well. Um, Good standard to the fighters I lost to be honest. Like, and the thing about the selection thing, I'm pretty sure the North American Open was like a qualifier for those guys to get selected for Team USA.
Makes
So
sense.
obviously they have so much to play for, to be honest. Going over
Yeah.
there, so that's the bit of the difference. But still, I went over there, I did my best, so I was happy enough, like coming home.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I like huge congratulations on your recent
Thank
success.
you, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, congrats on your recent success, and it's awesome that you had a chance to be on the team with some of the guys that I've either had on the podcast. I've had Amir Gordon's mom Tanya. She was on the podcast recently, so I haven't had a chance to meet or connect with Amir yet, but I've heard some good stuff. So that's awesome. Did you feel? Yeah, I would love to kind of get like how you felt when you're on the team with the boys, like you said, which is cool. Did you kind of worry or think like, man, like, am I as good as these guys, or like, am I, like, you know what I mean? Like, did that ever kind of play in, or did you not worry about that at all?
The only thing I'd worry about is that there was 4 of us and only 3 of us could fight. I think we're all top standard, the same level. Like
Yeah,
I fought Amir for the first time in 2022 at the World Championships, and I fought him like 3 times since, and it's been 4 of them back. And then I fought Sam, and we had a really close match. I fought Gustavo, a really close match. So I think it was a bit of luck who was sitting in and out. That was my only kind of worry, because obviously the 4 of us were all top fighters. I think anyone could beat anyone. Like that's the thing with it.
yeah, that's cool when you have such high caliber athletes on a team.
Mm,
It's like you can send anyone out at any given time, and you know that you guys are
exactly.
going to do
There
amazing.
was no weak spot in it,
Yeah, no,
no
that's
matter
awesome,
who was
man.
out.
Yeah, 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 for sure. What a cool opportunity to travel with your family, like you said. And you said you were in Vegas. Did you guys get a chance to explore Vegas at all?
Yeah, so the tournament was in Vegas, and we were in San Francisco as well.
Yeah,
So both times we were going around Vegas, of course, going around the strip. We went up in the helicopter and we went over to the Grand Canyon. So it was, I think, to be honest, it's my favorite trip I've ever been on. It was such a cool experience. I was in America in 2022 in Florida, and ever since I went there, I loved it so much. It was just, it's so fun.
yeah. So in 2022, that was when the Worlds were in Florida.
Yeah.
Very cool. And how many? Well, let me ask how did you do in Florida? What were the results at that World Championships that were held here in America?
So I was 13 at the time. It was my first big competition back after COVID, and I actually ended up taking home a bronze medal. I actually lost to Amir in the semi-finals that year,
Yeah,
but I won, I think, a good 4 or 5 fights before it. Um, yeah, to be honest, it was my first time ever succeeding at that level, and I think that's what kind of kept me such involved, and it grew my love for the sport even more when I kind of realized that success is possible on the world stage. I just never.
This part of the episode could be sponsored by you. If you're a business owner, creator, entrepreneur, brand, or organization looking to get in front of the engaged audience, this is your opportunity. Kumite Lifestyle is growing, and we're always looking to partner with people who are doing good work and want to connect with the community. To sponsor an episode or to learn more, visit kumitelifestyle.com or reach out directly. Let's build something together. Now, back to the episode.
Forget how happy I was coming home with a medal then.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like, especially, doing it in America where it's, I don't know if that was maybe intimidating for you, but it sounds to me like you rise to the occasion, and that's awesome that you've had this experience. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I remember I'm always nervous going into fight, to be honest. Like going into a tournament, when you're there though, I think you're kind of calm after you get on the mat for the first time, get through your first fight, and the nerves settle a bit. And it's just kind of the big moments where you have to stay locked in. I remember in Florida, it was like extra time and it was the fight to get the medal. And I just remembered like just try to keep calm as possible and then just go for it straight away.
Yeah. So this is a question that I like asking, some of the US athletes that I've had on. And, the question that I usually ask is when they go overseas, what is something that they learn when they're in a different country? So the question I have for you is when you're here in America, what is something that you've learned about, this country that maybe you heard a little bit different, before coming over? So meaning like, what did you take away from just the American people, just in general, not just karate, but just your experience as a whole, whether it's from Florida, whether it's been in Vegas. I would love to know what you've learned about this country compared to what maybe you thought about, or maybe what you heard about this country compared to what you actually learned about the USA, if that makes sense.
Um, yeah, so in USA, I would think like nearly like all the people I met were really kind, really cool. Sometimes I'd heard before that it wasn't always the case in some places, or some places they used to be a bit run down or weren't the best quality of life. But anytime I went anywhere, it was kept well. Everyone was there. It was clean and all that. Like if
Very
that
cool.
makes sense. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It was nice. Like
No, 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 no. I think that's great. And again, this is all just based on your observation, based on your own experience. So I'm glad, Emmett, that you had a good experience here in America. And
yeah, definitely.
it was cool hearing about what you said about when you came to Vegas, you had a chance to go to San Francisco, the Grand Canyon, the helicopter. Dude, that's pretty awesome. So so your parents just rented out a helicopter and you guys just flew around?
I think we booked a tour, so we went over to this place, and that was their whole thing. Like they had pilots and all that, and they brought us over, and they were the guy was telling us about kind of everything that was formed and all that. Then we were there, and we're looking at it. We got a bit of time to relax, enjoy the views, and then yeah, we went back.
That's awesome. Yeah, very cool. How long's the flight from Ireland to Vegas? Do you remember?
I think it was 10 hours. I
Not,
think
not too bad, I don't think. Yeah.
it was long. It was long. On the flight over, I had free Wi-Fi, so that was enough to keep me calm. I don't even think I just went to sleep. I was sitting on my phone the whole time.
Nice. Very cool. So, speaking of travels, like I said, I know you have Romania coming up, and I appreciate you talking about some of your experiences here in America and some of that preparation leading up. So now that you have, this next World Championships going, and you mentioned Scotland too. So, man, you've been to some pretty big tournaments just in the probably short amount of time. So obviously you have this wealth of experience. So what experience do you bring going into Romania? No, number one, and then the second question to follow up: what do you do specifically to train for such a big event?
So Romania is going to be a big one. I've had multiple international events this year, thankfully. I think I'm getting ready for it now. I think the main thing going into it is just keep calm. do what I do best. This don't be trying to do crazy stuff for the first time. Because there's going to be some amazing fighters over there. We already know.
Yeah.
Training wise, I'm really lucky in my club. We've got some amazing coaches who are there. They're putting in a lot of hours out of their day to come prepare us for these tournaments. I have amazing teammates as well who are there getting myself ready as well, even if they're not competing at the tournament. So it's just, to be honest, just get as much hours as I can in. I've gotten a lot of time on the floor, like fighting already. So I just need to keep working in the gym, to be honest. I think that's all you can do, to be honest.
Yeah. So just continue doing what you're already doing.
Yeah. So even more though, I think just need to keep, like, when you're leading up to the tournament, the hours and the effort just has to keep rising, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're not too much where you burn yourself out or anything like that. Just need to keep putting in the work.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are your goals this year for the in Romania? Like, where would you see yourself at?
Well, the ideal situation and what you're going over there to do, you have to be aiming for the top. Last year I got silver in my fighting, so this year I'm just trying to get that gold back again, the title. Um, Obviously the level is getting higher. To come home with any medal will be good, but the aim is to win gold.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I figured that was the case. I just wanted to hear it from your I think I wanted to hear it from you, So
Yeah,
obviously the goal is to win.
definitely.
But when you're over there or like at any of these world championships that you've talked about, Emmett, do you still find time to enjoy the process and just enjoy being with the team?
Always, always. That is my favorite part of competing and traveling.
Yeah.
Like any time I've gone away with the group of guys, it's just always so memorable. We have some fun, but obviously when it's time to compete, that's where 100% the focus is. But it could be the day before, the morning of, after. We're having a good time enjoying ourselves, but you just know when to start taking it serious and be ready to fight.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm excited for you. I can't wait to, hear the results. And I'm glad that you're going to be representing Kumite Lifestyle over there as well. And of course, Ireland. So I know we talked a lot about your karate experiences, your travels, your successes, and what you've gained as an athlete. And you also touched on, getting to travel and see, parts of America, which I think is amazing. So now I would love to dive a bit into Emmett, who's also a regular person, right? Being 17, going to school. So what is life for you outside of karate?
So I'm in school here in Waterford, and to be honest, I do get some good recognition from them in karate, but I do have a normal life. Like, I play basketball, I play soccer, play rugby, I hang out with my friends. Not 100% of my life is karate. And like, I try not always be talking about it. I try not bring it up too much.
It's hard not to. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And like, it's kind of thing, a lot of people I'd hang around with, they wouldn't do karate or martial arts. So it's just normal chance. I have other things going on for me. And my friends, like, it doesn't always have to be revolved around it.
Yeah. No, I think that's, some. Before we go any further, do me a quick favor. If you're enjoying this episode, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with somebody who would appreciate this conversation. That one share really does help the show grow. And if you're listening on audio, make sure to follow the podcast and leave a rating or review. It helps more people find the show, and it lets me know that you're rocking with what we're already building. All right, let's keep it going, and let's get back into this amazing conversation. That I've always kind of as a kid, or I won't say as a kid, but like as a late teenager, when I was growing up into my early adulthood, something that I struggled with, Emmett, was finding balance, because a lot of my time then was spent training, teaching, traveling, competing. And I used to have this mindset where if you didn't do karate, I didn't want to talk to you. It's not that I felt that I was better, but it's like we had nothing in common. But now, later in my life, as I've matured and I've, realized that, not everyone's going to love karate, not everyone's going to love martial arts, but it doesn't make that person, less than, if you will, because we all have value. But I wish growing up, I didn't have that mindset where it's like, I wish I would have spent more time with people. I wish I would have spent more time, with possibly having relationships, but I was so focused with karate, and I don't regret it because I have the life that I have now because of it. I do martial arts full
Yeah,
time, so obviously it paid off. But it's one of those things, like, and I'm just sharing this with you because I see that you're very intelligent, you're very goal driven, and you have a lot of the great things going for you. And you mentioned the family support. If
thank
there's
you very
one,
much. Thank you.
absolutely, man. And if there's if there's one tip, and I'm sure you've heard this, or maybe you haven't, but I just want to say, like, dude, continue to live your life to the fullest. Karate is always going to be there in some capacity. At some part, and this might be hard for you to kind of, I guess, conceptualize because you are still young, but you're not going to be able to compete forever, but
That's
you
true.
can
That's
still
true.
train, you can still coach. So there's a lot of things. I truly believe that karate is for everyone, and there's something for everyone, just depending on what it is. Some people do karate for fitness. Some people do it for competition. Some people do it for self-defense, So whatever that reason is, there's a place for everyone in karate. And if that's true, that should be kind of like permission, if you will, to go and do other things in, with your life as well. So, I know you mentioned activities, hanging out with friends. So, aside from karate, man, like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
So I'm going to be going into my last year of school after this summer, where that will have to be my main focus. It can't always just be everything about karate.
Yeah.
Um, so I think gradually it will slow down a bit, but it's still going to be there. I can't focus 100% on school. I'm going to need something else
Yeah.
to keep me down, keep me balanced, don't get too stressed. I think that's the same with everything. Like, you can't spend 100% of time on one thing. You have to have stuff going on outside. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. As I say, there's no such thing as balance. It's just shift the focus. Because if
Mm.
you only do 50% of this, 50% of that, then you're not really putting 100% in on the other stuff. But I do love how you said that, you got to have something to kind of keep you grounded. And I think karate for sure is definitely uh, just that. Emmett, there was something that I wanted to kind of explore with you now. And because you're 17, because you're still very young and you're entering, your adulthood, if you will, which is a very exciting time in your life. And I'm just saying that based on my experience. You have a lot of things, like I said, going for you. But something that I would love to maybe get a better understanding is, what is it like to be a 17-year-old where you are right now in the world? Meaning not in Ireland, but just as a 17-year-old human being, because, there's a lot of things in social media, there's a lot of influencers out there. So how do you stay focused with all these, possible distractions? Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, I know
Mm.
in America, there's a lot of things that you see online. There's a lot of, content creators. Uh, um, what's the big one? YouTubers, if you will. So obviously it's good opportunity, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying that, but you can see how that can be pretty distracting. And maybe you have friends that, do those things, or, content creators. I don't know. But I feel like that's not the case with you. I feel like you're very focused, you're very driven. So again, back to my question, how do you do it as a 17-year-old young man? Is it hard? Do you find, are there kind of temptations there?
Yeah, man. I think, to be honest, like, you don't have to be doing what other people are doing. To be honest, like, if it's not something for you, it like, don't be forced into it. Just do what you want to. It keeps you happy. Like, what floats your boat, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So your advice is just do what makes you happy, right?
Exactly. Be you.
Very cool. Awesome. So while we're also on this topic, because you've have accomplished so much, and through traveling, training, and of course going back to karate, of course, but I would love to know, like, what is one thing in karate that you're very proud of up to this point? Like, what has been, like, your favorite accomplishment? And it doesn't have to be a win. Maybe it was a loss at a tournament board, but, like, what is a moment so far that you've learned in karate that has really impacted your life?
That's a good question. Um, like, I could always say about my wins, like, I've had a good career so far, but
Okay, well, share something that you did, like, so share a win and then share something where you didn't win, but you learned a lot from it.
Okay, okay, this works better. So in 2024, in October, we had the European Championships. I was about to turn 16, and I went to the tournament, and I wasn't the most confident. I had a lot of doubts, but I went out the first day. My category had 72 people in it, and as time went on, I just tried. I wanted to win one fight at a time, and just don't want to lose. Not saying it, thinking gold, 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 final, final. I just got through each fight one at a time. The confidence slowly built. I ended up winning that category. The very next day, I had my own category, minus 75 kilo, and I was so tired. I didn't think I wanted to be there, but I still went out. And to be honest, I went and I won the category. So that event, I became two-time European champion. It was so surreal, to be honest. And the fact that I could not believe it going into it, it was crazy. And that gave me so much confidence. So then that July, the World Championships rolled around and I carried on that confidence. But looking at it, I think I carried a bit too much. I got a bit too confident. Thought I was the best there. I ended up losing the final to one of my good friends from Canada now. And now, after all that has happened, I'm trying to realize that you just need to stay a bit humble, stay grounded, and just focus on one thing at a time. Don't think too far ahead, and it'll come to you. What's meant to be will be like, and yeah, just don't be too cocky. Let's say.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's hard to be a champion, but it's even harder to stay a champion once you get to the top.
Mm.
And I feel like it maybe you would agree with me, but when you're chasing that first place or you're chasing to be at the top, you stay a lot hungrier that way. But once you're there, would you agree that sometimes it's hard to still stay focused sometimes?
Yeah, to be honest, I was going into matches expecting it to go my way, and that just wasn't the way to be. To be honest, I needed to take a step back, I think, and go back to when I was thinking, acting like each fight was a final, like
Yeah. Yeah.
keep the focus the whole fight. Like I'd be going my way, and then something would go against me. I could lose the head. I can get mad and start making mistakes. It's all just about keeping the calm, keep the
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah, keeping your composure is definitely important, especially as an athlete. And that's something that you can take with you as you continue to, get older and, continue to venture out on other things, not only karate related, just having that calm demeanor and also how you talk to people. Something that I've really learned that karate has helped is winning and losing is something that we're all going to face in life. But when you're used to winning, meaning like when things come easy or things are kind of given to you, you don't really have to work for it. I've always respected the athletes that have to work, meaning that sometimes they don't win. I mean, how many athletes have you seen that lose at tournaments and then they finally get that one win and you see their confidence go up? Maybe you've
Yeah.
experienced that.
Yeah, no, like it's the thing. Until you reach the top, you're working so hard to get there. And I think the main thing is when you do get there, you can't stop. You have to keep putting in the work to stay there. You become a target where you have the title and you can't lose it then.
Yeah. Emmett, do you teach? Do you help teach at your dojo? Are you in a sensei role right now?
Not really, to be honest. Sometimes I could go away to tournaments locally and I'd be able to help out. I'd be able to look after people and coach. But in a class training role, not really. Like I could take a warm up, but I wouldn't really be at the level, I don't think, at the moment to actually teach, to be
Yeah.
honest.
And no, I think that's a great assessment. I think that's a great honest assessment because um, obviously there's athletes that do both. They coach and teach. It's a balance, though. Like I said earlier,
It's something I think I definitely need to kind of work on, though. I need to be able to. It's true. I need to be. I've been told this, and it's fair enough. You need to be able to give back and help out and show what you know.
Yeah, I think I will agree with that. And I think also it's important to still work on your craft, meaning like you still want to be as good as you can. I want to take a second to say thank you to everybody who supports Kumite Lifestyle. Whether you've watched one episode or you've been here since the beginning, I appreciate you. This show has grown because of the people who listen, watch, comment, share, and tell others about it. If you want to support even more, visit kumitelifestyle.com. You can check out the latest episodes, shop the merch, connect with us, and stay updated on everything we have coming next. This is bigger than just a podcast. It's a community. And I'm grateful that you're a part of it. Let's get back into this amazing conversation. But you'll find, Emmett, because I love teaching, I love giving back. I'm in the sensei role now, 24/7. But you learn a lot about yourself when you're teaching. But you also make yourself a lot better too, because if you're teaching a student, or if you're telling a student to go win gold, or if you're telling them to do this or that, guess what that makes you? It makes you a lot better because you got to be able to deliver and know what you're talking about. So I think when the time is right, you'll develop into that role like a little bit more, maybe more casually, because I know you have other stuff coming up in the near future as far as school goes. But I think, I don't know who told you that. Maybe it was your sensei or maybe it was your family. But yeah, you do have a lot to offer. And just imagine the next like small Emmett who's going to be, representing Ireland, and like, it'd be cool to be able to say like you help impact that.
Of course, and it's not kind of a case where I never do that, and like I would be able to anytime you do show people stuff or help them out and they take it on board. It's a good feeling to see it work into action. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. So Emmett, I would love to know, with you being now 17, like we've talked about, you have great goals, you have Romania coming up. Ultimately, right, what do you want people to remember you by in 5, 10, 15 years from now? And I know that's kind of a loaded question, but I truly believe that our what we leave behind is based on our legacy, meaning our legacy is defined by the impact that we have on others. So what impact do you have, or I'm sorry, what impact would you like people to remember you by years from now? And I'm not saying that when you pass, because I would
of
never wish
course,
that, of course. But I think, looking ahead, right? Because, we, and you touched on this, right? Like you're chasing something. It's like you work all this, like you work so many years to get first, right? Or you work so many years to place in a tournament. So with that being said, what is the lasting impact that you want people to remember you by?
well, of course, it would be great for people to know like who I was, say my wins and stuff. But it's more than that, I kind of want people to know that I was a good person. Like I was good. I was able to talk to, um, kind of like let's say not a role model, but someone that you know of and you kind of can respect. Let's say I just you don't want to be forgotten or just only known for your wins or losses.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good point. And not being just known for our wins and losses, but how we treated people. And I feel like you're definitely on your way, if not already, leaving a great impact for those that you know and those that are going to continue to know you. I mean, just in the short amount of time with Kumite Lifestyle. I remember when I posted that I remember when I made your post about the ambassador, how much like so many people from Ireland and overseas started following the account. It's like, wow, like Emmett really had a impact there. So
Yeah, no, and when I heard that and people at the last tournament were asking me about it, I was able to tell them. It was just really cool to see people had an interest.
yeah,
So it's not just an interest of the type of fighter I am or how good I am. It's also like the person you can be and your actual personality. Like they're they're actually interested in what you are doing. And it's honestly it was a really nice moment and to hear that they were dropping follows and all that, it was cool to see.
yeah, man, it's well deserved. It's a
Thank you so
culmination
much.
of your hard work. Yeah, absolutely. Things we're gonna send you some sweet gear. Don't worry. So yes, you're gonna be rocking it out very soon.
Can't wait to be able to wear it, promote it, all the above.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, very soon. I got you. Emmett, where can people find you on social media if they want to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so my Instagram account where you can find all my stuff to do with karate is just Emmet Karate. Simple as. If anyone's ever looking for me, feel free to drop me a message. I'll always respond. But yeah, I've been kind of recently trying to be posting more on it, get to know more people, kind of get my content out there. So yeah, if anyone would take a look at that, that would be an honor.
Yeah, and for those that are watching or listening, if you go to kumitelifestyle.com and you go to our shop, you can buy any of our current merchandise. We have accessories, and if you use code Emmet, you'll get a 15% code that helps the brand and helps the ambassador Emmet. So just keep that in mind there too. So love it, man. Things. I'm glad that you're on this team, and just super excited to be able to continue working with you. So I always like to leave on this note. If you could give anyone a shout out, and maybe it's multiple people, but if you could thank anyone right now, who would it be?
Um, Thank, of course, my parents.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be in the position to have the kind of experience I have without them. And then to my whole club, my coaches and everything, just thanking them for always kind of being there for me, always training me, And then, of course, anyone in the country, overseas, at any competition who's been there to support, I'd like to thank all of them. It's always been good.
Very cool. Yeah. It's always good to thank your parents. And it's something that I always like hearing when I ask that question at the end. And obviously everyone's response might be different based on who's helped them. But early on in this conversation, you really gave praise to your parents. So huge shout out to them. I'm glad that they believe in you and in this vision as well. So it's awesome that you are fortunate to be where you are now, especially with your family. And Emmet, I want to thank you. I appreciate you for hopping on, today's show, but also, believing in Kumite Lifestyle, where it's still very new, but, we've made a lot of huge jumps over the last, few months, especially with the podcast, the ambassadors, and you being the very first international ambassador has been pretty special. So I don't take that lightly. I truly am thankful for those that believe in not only me, but the mission of Kumite Lifestyle, which is a media brand, but it's also rooted in martial arts and combat culture, but just being able to share the vision, not only here in America, but now in Ireland and hopefully all over the world. My goal is to make this worldwide, and it's not if
Yeah.
it happens, it's when it happens. So I'm super excited that you're going to be a part of it. And yeah, it's going to be great. Emmet, do you have any lasting words or anything that you'd like to share before we exit out?
Yeah, of course. Just from me to you, I'd like to thank you for having me, the opportunity. I'd just like to praise you for the work you've done. You've given so many people the opportunity to share their stories. You've been putting so much hard work into the brand. As we said, the ambassadors, like I think it's over 73 episodes you've released. So it's just
74. Yeah, 74.
74. It's a lot of hard work you put in. So yeah, fair play to you. Well done.
I really appreciate that. It's nice to know that people see the hard work, and I see your hard work as well. So, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So I'm glad that we're here together as a team. And for those listening and watching, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe and follow us anywhere where you're listening. So, Emmet, thanks again for hopping on today's Kumite Lifestyle podcast episode. Super excited to hear about what's coming next, and we will be in touch. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you so much.
That's another episode in the books. I want to thank today's guests for being a part of the show and bringing real value to the conversation. And to everybody watching or listening, I appreciate you more than you know. There are a lot of great things you could be doing right now with your time. So the fact that you spent some time here, it means a lot. Make sure you subscribe, follow, share, and visit kumitelifestyle.com to support the show and check out our amazing merch in the shop. Remember, every story matters, every conversation has value, and we're going to keep building one episode at a time. Thank you for tapping in. I'll catch you on the next one.